On the news tonight, ECOWAS meets over Niger Republic instability, directs deployment of standby force to restore peace, as Acting Comptroller General of Immigration orders closure of land borders to Niger Republic. House of Representatives Committee investigation on employment racketeering in agency issues warrant of arrest on Kolo Anna Aruno. Hyperdeck Private Medical Center offer free medical checkup to government workers in Kwara State. Good evening and welcome to NTJ Body News at 7. I'm Moroluwa Egona and here are the details of the news. The ECOWAS Authority of State and Government have directed the immediate mobilization and deployment of a standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Here are the details.
This is part of the resolutions of the second extraordinary summit of the ECOWAS leaders in Abuja, while the bloc maintains that it will continue to explore more diplomatic means. In this situation, it states that no option is taken off the table, including the use of force. It also clarifies that the resolutions are supported by all member states and not a case of one country against another.
Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. Express appreciation to His Excellency General Abdulsalami Abubakar, His Eminence Muhammadu Saad Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, Ambassador Baba Kingibe for the special envoy missions undertaken in Niger, Libya, and Algeria on behalf of the Chair of Authority. Express gratitude to His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority, for convening the extraordinary summit and for the manner in which he has been conducting the affair of the community as Chair of Authority. Done at Abuja this 10th day of August 2023. I thank you.
We remain steadfast in our commitment to supporting Niger in the journey towards peaceful and democratic stability in the country. The road ahead will undoubtedly have challenges, but I firmly believe that with our collective resolve, we can navigate these obstacles and chart a path towards lasting peace and prosperity for Nigerians and ECOWAS. I extend my sincere gratitude to all of you for your dedication and valuable contributions during this extraordinary summit. Your unwavering commitment to ECOWAS and the welfare of our continent is highly commendable. I want to thank you for your positive remarks and recognition given to me and the government of the people of Nigeria. May our collective efforts pave the way for a brighter future for the Nigerian people and for all Africans. May ECOWAS continue to thrive as a beacon of unity, cooperation, and progress in the region.
vision of transforming the Nigerian Air Force into a resilient force which effectively meets the air power demands of national and regional security is on course, with new strategies being mapped at the maiden chief of the air staff, meeting with branch chiefs and commanding officers. Defense correspondent Jatsu Tijani reports from the headquarters, Nigerian Air Force.
Marking the beginning of a new chapter for the Nigerian Air Force, branch chiefs, commandants of tri-service institutions, air officers commanding, and commanders, direct reporting units are meeting with the Chief of the Air Staff with a strong emphasis on leadership, collaboration, and modernization.
Accordingly, the focus of my command philosophy is to transform the Nigerian Air Force into an agile and resilient force that effectively meets the air power demands of national security in all operational environments.
Actionable consequences, and with the situation in Niger and West Africa, the Nigerian Air Force is set to be a stabilizing force in the West African sub-region, in line with the Chief of the Air Staff's vision of leveraging technology to enhance the overall service delivery of the force. Enhanced logistics and personnel welfare are also on the front burner, and to demonstrate this commitment, the Nigerian Air Force presents vehicles to 7 air warrant officers for their dedication to duty and 35 years of meritorious service. The Nigerian Air Force says this is only the beginning of greater horizons ahead. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
The Acting Comptroller General of Nigeria Immigration Service, Caroline Wuraola Adepoju, has conducted a suspense visit to Ilela Border Control Post to ensure effective implementation of the federal government directive to temporarily choose land borders with Niger Republic in light of their ongoing political instability. Victor Azu has the details.
By a new public relations officer, Nigeria Immigration Service, Dotun Aridegbe, indicates that the aim of the visit was to evaluate the level of compliance with the closure and reinforce the importance of interagency collaboration and intelligence sharing. During Wednesday's visit, the acting CGI expressed satisfaction with the degree of compliance observed at the Ilela Border Control Post and expressed appreciation to the officers for their diligence in upholding the closure directives. Acting CGI Adepoju also reiterated her earlier directive to all comptrollers of commands in states bordering Niger Republic, emphasizing the need for unwavering adherence to the closure measures. The visit was also an opportunity for the acting CGI to visit the Usman Danfodio Teaching Hospital, where she directly interacted with injured personnel, victims of a bandit assault at the Mamansuka checkpoint near Ilela, an event that resulted in the tragic loss of 2 lives. During the engagement, Adepoju extended her unwavering support and solidarity. She pledged to provide assistance to the grieving families during this trying period and made a firm commitment to ensuring that the sacrifices of personnel would not be in vain, as all necessary resources to bring the bandits to justice will be deployed. The acting CGI further engaged with and received assurances of collaboration and support of the Sokoto State Governor, Ahmed Aliyu, and the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence, Saad Abubakar III.
Still on security, Kwara State Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak has inaugurated 32 patrol vans and 160 motorcycles to strengthen security across the 16 local government areas of the state. The governor, while handing over the vehicles to the TIC chairman, urged them to make the judicious use of the vehicles for a better result. Abdul Hafiz Alias report is hereby presented.
Tagged Local Government Initiative. Each of the 16 local government areas is getting 2 patrol vehicles and 10 motorcycles to boost security at the grassroots. Kwara State Government is conscious of the importance of security in fostering development, and Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak-led administration is committed to providing the needed logistics to make the state safe. He advocated for synergy among stakeholders at the grassroots to make the security initiatives work.
Chairman to work closely with all the stakeholders, the traditional rulers, putting the constituencies and make sure they have serious engagement with the security agencies. The security agencies alone can't do it. They need our support in making sure our communities are safe.
The Speaker of the State House of Assembly and Algon chairman, in their separate remarks, lauded the governor's investments in all sectors of the economy while assuring judicious use of the vehicles.
This is first of its kind. Our vigilantes and the security network in respective local government will be greatly improved. With these vehicles we are seeing and the motorcycles, so it will go a long way. We know the role of a motorcycle and where the vehicles will enter.
3 vehicles were also presented to Kwara State Road Traffic Management Authority, Kwatma, to ease their operation.
The House of Reps ad hoc committee investigating employment racketeering in agencies of the federal government has resolved to issue a warrant of arrest on Kolo Aruna, a staff of the Asset Management Company of Nigeria.
This follows Kolo's failure to honor the invitation of the committee to appear for cross-examination at the public hearing for the 3rd consecutive day. Kolo, a former staff of the Federal Character Commission, had appeared before the committee on Monday, where he admitted to collecting money from job seekers for employment, but alleged he was acting on instructions.
Come up with a lot of allegations. The committee adjourned and asked him to appear the next day. He didn't. We called on him to appear yesterday through his agency, AMCOM. He's nowhere to be found. We hereby adjourn to write to the Speaker of the House of Representatives to issue a warrant of arrest in respect to Haruna Kolo and compel his appearance before the committee.
The committee's chairman, who also frowned at government agencies that have been avoiding the ongoing investigation, says there will be sanctions henceforth for any agency that fails to honor the invitation of the committee.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Esson, has urged health maintenance organizations, HMOs, in the country to fashion out better ways of providing quality and affordable health care services to civil servants to reduce morbidity rates. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation said this in a message to the meeting with representatives of the HMOs. Aman Jabani reports.
The meeting was between enrollees represented by the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, HMOs, and the Health Insurance Regulatory Body, NHIA. The convergence is aimed at sharing thoughts, challenges, and charting the way forward for better, affordable, and quality healthcare service delivery for civil servants. Permanent Secretary, Service Welfare Office, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mahmoud Adam Kambari, who represented the head of the service, says the health of civil servants can no longer be taken for granted as they die on a daily basis from preventable elements. She called on HMOs to partner with the civil service in organizing regular medical checkups as well as the provision of quality medication and comprehensive medical care for civil servants.
It is also targeted towards enlightening on the roles and responsibility of HMOs, including establishment of integrated paper mechanism to track access of civil servants to quality health services.
Director, Occupational Health, Safety and Environment, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Comfort Adeosu, said there is a need to work in synergy with the HMOs for quality health care delivery, while participants commended the office for being proactive in ensuring qualitative healthcare services, thereby guaranteeing a healthy and productive workforce. Issues such as lack of data for HMOs to work with, inadequate funds, poor client relationship, non-uniformity of softwares, and no regulation of healthcare facilities, among other issues, were addressed at the meeting. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
The federal government has inaugurated reconstituted board and management of the Northeast Development Commission with a call to forge ahead and be united for the development of the region. State House correspondent Abdul Rahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima made a call at the inauguration of the board.
This commission serves as a conduit of hope, a vessel through which we channel our resolve, compassion, and resources to breathe life into the communities that have borne the brunt of the terror unleashed upon our land.
With the successes recorded by the management and board in the development of the Northeast region, President Bola Tinubu approved the reconstitution of the board. This is what developed the confidence of the federal government, especially the humanitarian tragedies the zone went through that led to the formation of the commission.
Your impressive financial discipline, fiscal discipline, and financial transparency, which have resulted in a credit balance of 229.9 billion naira in your corpus in the wake of the second quarter of 2023, are marks of the managerial expectations and character for which NEDC is known. We must restore the glories of the Northeast as a vast land of history and culture and crafts and industry. Our collective task is to erase the shadows of terrorism and insurgency, which unfortunately have become the dominant memory of the sub-region.
Appealing to the board to avoid the interference of any lapses in the intervention by providing the people what they need to better their lives.
With the collective wisdom, experience, and dedication of this board, I am confident that we will continue to make substantial contributions and bring the much-needed succor for the Northeast Zone and indeed Nigeria at large.
The objectives of Mr. President to provide, to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal by procuring electric buses, CNG buses, so that the hardship of the entire people of the Northeast Development Commission will be reduced.
Access to quality education, healthcare, economic opportunities are part of the challenges and the body is expected to address, as the Commission is a journey of hope and renewal to the Northeast. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
We'll be going on a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching NTA Ijebode News. Nigeria is on the pathway to economic buoyancy alongside numerous job opportunities, adoption and implementation of the blockchain technology. Experts were in Lagos to dialogue on the right framework and template for the emerging technology to thrive in the country for the benefit of all. Olumide Eguntola reports.
As the leading digital economy in Africa, Nigeria is the first on the continent to adopt the blockchain technology after the federal government's approval of the policy on the 3rd of May 2023. To actualize government's intentions, which includes greater transparency, increased efficiency, secured transactions, among other benefits, is the brain behind this gathering of experts to draw up procedures across all sectors of the economy. Indeed, the dialogue wasted no time in bearing fruit with an assurance of billions of naira guaranteed to complement the country's gross domestic product if the policy is fully implemented.
According to PwC, by 2030, blockchain will add $1.76 trillion to the global GDP. And Nigeria, if we position ourselves well, we can get about $40 billion by 2030 from blockchain.
Submissions from other experts and stakeholders indicate that with the blockchain technology, Nigeria will retain its leadership role in Africa and build a prosperous ecosystem.
Application of blockchain technology into our everyday activities is achieved, that we can begin to use the practical use cases of blockchain technology beyond the hype and the misinformation and limited information that is out there.
And so having government institutions like NITA in conversation with the private sector to understand what the pain points are and what they actually need in terms of regulation is very important.
The successful conclusion of the conversation is a pointer that Nigeria will soon become the hub of blockchain technology in Africa. In Lagos, Olumide Kuntola, NTA News.
Now on health issues. Employees' productivity is said to be critical to the success of any organization and is influenced by many factors which include workers' wellness. This is why the Hydroelectric Power Producing Area Development Commission, HYPADEC, in conjunction with a private medical center, is offering free medical checkup and health talk to its staff in Kwara State to enhance their performance. Abdulafiz Alias report is hereby presented.
The 5-day health program kicked off with comprehensive medical checkup for HYPADEC staff, including checking of blood pressure and sugar level, among other tests. Health talks on management of systemic hypertension and diabetes mellitus, as well as glaucoma, were delivered as workers were encouraged to do away with lifestyles that trigger the diseases while embracing a healthy living culture.
We also discussed the importance of getting screened for these conditions, especially among busy professionals like members of staff of NHYPADEC. Getting screened periodically for these conditions and the importance of adhering to medications and doctor's advice.
Blindness from glaucoma is preventable. And how do we prevent it? Check your eyes every year.
To the staff of HYPADEC in Kwara State, the program will put them in perfect health condition to perform optimally in the course of discharging their duties.
Most of our work is done on field. They want to enhance our well-being, to increase our productivity in the workplace.
How to rescue our colleagues in the course of their discharging their duties if eventually there is a problem.
This enlightenment we've had today, we should take exercise, eat well, and a lot of medical advice has been given to us, so it really benefits us as staff of HYPADEC.
The health talk and medical screening will last for 5 days.
Nigeria is working on a national support framework on flood forecasting and early warning, which targets reducing the potential damage of agricultural investment and property to flood disasters, as well as improving the safety of the lives in flood-prone areas. This is the agenda of the stakeholders workshop in Abuja on water resources decision, support and flood early warning systems for Nigeria. Olushaye Adiagbo has the details.
Nigeria's devastating experience of flooding in 2022 affected 33 states, displacing more than 1.4 million persons, destroying livestock, about 100,000 hectares of farmland, with over 600 deaths recorded. And the World Bank estimates its economic damage to be about $6.68 billion.
The negative impact of flood will be on the decline by promoting better understanding of flood risk and ensuring that the appropriate mitigation measures are developed.
Focus on irrigated agriculture will also be more pronounced, but it is not enough to have this in place when we are not able to confront challenges that may come from droughts or floodings.
As flooding keeps challenging Nigeria's transformation drives, especially on the agricultural food system, the nation's water users, policymakers, and other relevant actors want to use this workshop to strengthen anticipatory action through flood forecasting and early warning systems to mitigate the flood impact in Nigeria.
First of its kind in Nigeria, developing this AWARE platform, and importantly, we are trying to test that in specific state with all the actors by next year to ensuring that the government have early action protocol before the disaster happen.
This is really very important to have it packaged so that the relevant government agencies and the government itself that should take care of these issues should have a clear idea what is required with respect to the extent of the issue and the funding required.
With the overall objective on sensitization, participants there have been sharing optimism of capacities to build resilience, mitigate and manage fraud in the best ways. In Abuja, Olusheye Diagbo, NTN.
That concludes tonight's news, but before we leave, let's take a look at our major stories once again. Earlier on, we told you that ECOWAS meets over Niger Republic instability, directs deployment of standby force to restore peace, as Acting Comptroller General of Immigration orders closure of land borders of Niger Republic. Also, House of Representatives Committee investigation in employment, racketeering in agencies issues warrant of arrest on Kolo Aruna. Lastly, IPADEC Private Medical Center offer free medical checkup to government workers in Kwara State. That is all we have for you tonight on NTA Birthday News. I'm Amoroluwa Egona. Good night.
Dr. Dollar Entertainment.
Kajo, 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 kayo, kayo, kajo. Uyo me yo le uo san okun mi o. Uyo me ya, uyo me ya. Uyo me ya le uo san okun mi o. Uyo me ya, uyo me ya. Uyo me ya le uo san okun mi o. Everybody's born a winner, yeah, yeah. If only you just believe, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give myself Indian